Okay, so for this lesson, I'm going to show you how to use in Photoshop the clone stamp tool. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to go open up the Finder window, and we're going to get some images that we're going to use. So click to the Room 412 Teacher Station, click on the Megan Share folder, click on the Graphics folder, Images. You'll see a document in there called Clone Tool. Okay. You're going to open up a new Finder window, File, New Finder window. Okay. Drag and move it out of the way. Find your Documents folder and just drag and drop that into your folder. Okay. So that's first. Next, you can close those out. Open up Photoshop and File, Open. Navigate to your Documents folder, your personal folder, find that document we just copied in there called the Clone Tool, and click Open. So we have a document that has 3 layers, background layer. Layer 1, if I toggle the visibility by clicking on the eye, you can see that that's what's on layer 1. If I click on layer 2, highlighting it blue, and toggle the visibility, you can see that that's what's on layer 2. Okay, we're going to highlight layer 1, come over to this tool, it's called the Clone Stamp tool. Okay, so click on it. And the way this tool works is, first thing we want to do is try to get a brush size that's fairly large, that can kind of get a whole area. Okay, so about this size, it seems about right, so about 80. So you click on your brush up here, and make the size adjustment to about 80, and click on a soft brush because this works best with a soft brush. Okay, once you've done that, you can come back to your image. Okay, sorry, and you're going to hold down the Option key on your keyboard, and notice when you hold down the Option key, it selects, or it turns into crosshairs, okay? Then I can actually click with my mouse as I'm holding the Option key down, and then it kind of takes that information into the memory of the computer. And now you'll see, as I'm moving this brush around, you can see the textural information that was inside that brush, sort of feathered out because we use a soft brush, is now kind of floating around with this, okay? If I click, hold, and drag right on this layer, and I just keep painting, notice that there's a crosshairs on the image, and where that crosshair is matching to what's inside of the brush. So if I keep painting, eventually I'm going to paint the entire image again, okay? But this is not what I want to do, okay? I'm going to, but just so you can see how to use it. So next, I'm going to hit Command Z to undo that change, because that's not what I want to do. And before, if you notice, if you look at these two photos, you'll see this photo is kind of a paler, pinkish, lighter color, and this color has more orange and darker reds and maybe even a little bit of yellowy color in here. So before we can use the Clone Stamp tool to transfer information from one image to another image, we need to sort of adjust this one a little bit better so that it'll take that information better. So here's what we're going to do. Click on layer 2. Go to Image, Adjustments, and go to Color Balance. Okay? And then you're going to click and add a little bit of red, add a little bit of yellow, because when you add red and yellow, you kind of get orange, okay? And kind of adjust it, trying to feel, maybe I want to take a little bit of magenta, or actually go, yeah, no, maybe not, leave that at 0. Maybe just a little more red. Okay, so we're trying to match so that the values of the shadows are kind of a similar sort of coloring, or this yellowy orange kind of matches some of the skin in the lighter areas, just so that you have a consistency of color, okay? So that's really what the color balance tool. So after you've done that, click OK. All right, so that's in the adjustment layer. So then again, come back to layer 1. Come above one of these images here, hold Option to get the crosshairs, click, And then I'm going to come over, click on layer 2. Because now I'm going to transfer the visual information from that layer onto this right here by clicking once. Okay. I don't want to click, hold, and drag because then it's just going to trace all that information again. Okay, so I'm going to undo that. Okay, so that transferred that one image. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to another one of these blemishes on layer 1. Okay, I'm going to click Option, click, then I'm going to move over and I'm going to add another little blemish. Okay, but notice what happened. It didn't add it to here, and I won't know why. It's because I'm still on layer 1. If I hide this, you'll see, if I hide this layer, you'll see I added that blemish underneath it, okay, underneath that layer. So that's not what I want to do. Okay, so I can undo. Okay, I have to click on that layer, and then it'll allow me to put that information there. So let me try that again. I'm going to click on layer 1, hold the Option key down, click, come back to layer 2, move, add blemish. Okay, and then again back and forth. Grab some of these little blemishes, Option key, click, move, and blemish. Oops, sorry, forgot to go to layer 2, blemish. Okay, so just get like 3 or 4 of these nice little bits of information. Layer 1, layer 2, click. Oh, so you're kind of creating, and now she looks a little bit more normal, right? Because everyone has acne. No one's perfect. And this is actually one of the techniques that artists or graphic designers use to actually clean up skin, which is going to be the next thing that we're going to do. So if I come back to layer 1 now, I'm going to show you another tool that gets used. Okay, so I could use the clone stamp tool here. All right, by clicking Option in the clear area of the skin now, in the same range and value as here. Okay, and I click Option and I click, and then I move over and notice it's kind of fading out that area. So if I click and paint, it kind of painted in and got rid of that spot. Okay, but there's actually a better tool to use than the clone tool for that, because sometimes if I clone and then I do the painting, notice how it changed the value of the color there, and that's not what I want to do. So I'm going to undo that. So I'm going to use this tool. It's called the Spot Healing Brush Tool. Looks like a Band-Aid right over here. So the Spot Healing Brush Tool. Okay, and again, I'm going to get a brush size that's a little smaller than this one for this one. So I'm going to shrink my brush size down so it's just kind of a little bit larger than the size of those blemishes. Okay, and then I'm going to zoom in, actually first, just so I can get click on the zoom tool so I can kind of really see what's going on here. Okay, so again, click on that Spot Healing Brush, and notice when I put them here, what the Spot Healing Brush does is it takes information from outside of that circle and puts it inside the circle. So if you think about what's going on around that blemish, there's all this lighter value texture of the flesh that's clear, okay? And then inside the circle, if I put it here, is that blemish. So if I click now and paint, notice what happened. It disappeared because it took the information from outside that circle and put it in. Okay, let me change my brush size to a little smaller even. Okay, so if I want to get rid of this blemish, I just click on it, boom, gone. And because it took the information from around it and it leaves the texture, so it looks like the skin in that area. So this is actually a tool that graphic designers use to change and make the skin very clear on celebrities and people who normally have acne, but you know, they don't think it looks good, so they make it go away. Okay, fake. All right, so just go ahead, use your spot tool and just kind of clean up some of those blemishes, trying to make the skin as clear as you can get it. Okay. kind of didn't work out too well because I went too fast, I think. Let's see, this one, here. Sometimes you have to kind of use a painter, or maybe you have to use a smaller brush to kind of get that. And just kind of get that value around it. That's better. Okay. So, okay, but that's basically it. That's how you use this tool. Okay. So when you've gotten that done, what I'd like you to do is, looks nice and clear enough. File, save. Okay. Open up your Finder window. Navigate to your Documents folder, your folder where it says Clone Tool. I want you to click on it once, rename it. So your username Clone Tool. Okay, and then I want you to go open up a new Finder window and navigate to the Megan public folder where there's the Dropbox, and then just click on that document, hold, drag, and drop it in. Make sure you see the plus sign, and then click OK, and then you'll have turned in your work. Okay, so that's it for that lesson.